I have titled this particular webcast this evening, Blagojevich's Swansong, Kim Jong-il's Deadly Dance. I came across two news stories on the radio news tonight that I think are, one of them is I would label as interesting because it involves a colorful and controversial American politician. But I suppose in the big scheme of things, in the world of geopolitics, what has happened to this individual, of course, probably wouldn't be considered of too earth-shattering importance other than to himself and the state in which he lives, the American state in which he lives. The other news story could have major repercussions for the entire world, and may in fact be President Barack Obama's first international crisis and major test as he's now assumed office. The first story which I deal with, which is the Blagojevich Swansong part of my webcast title, is that Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich has just been convicted of abusing his powers in his inauguration trial, his impeachment trial by the Illinois State Senate. So the Senate voted to convict Mr. Blagojevich, and they've now voted overwhelmingly, 59-0 in fact, to remove him from office. And for Mr. Blagojevich, the Illinois State Senate also had a second vote, where they voted to ban Mr. Blagojevich from holding public office in the state of Illinois for life. And Patrick Quinn, who was Illinois' state lieutenant governor and a fellow Democrat, is now the new governor of the state of Illinois. On taking his oath of office, the new governor of Illinois, Patrick Quinn, said, "The ordeal is now over." And so Mr. Blagojevich's career in politics in Illinois is now finished. The only footnote I would add to this story is, as Blagojevich was making the media rounds the past few days, I really think he should have done Barbara Walters a favor on her program The View and done Richard Nixon's "I am not a crook" line for Barbara Walters' benefit. I'm sure that would have engraved Mr. Blagojevich's memory quite well in the consciousness of the American people. This was all brought about, of course, by the Blagojevich being accused of trying to sell President Obama's Senate seat from Illinois to the highest bidder. And so, adios, Mr. Blagojevich. Dealing with the more serious note, which I've mentioned, North Korean public radio and television announced tonight that it is scrapping all military and political agreements that it has signed with South Korea. The announcement was made from Pyongyang, the North Korean capital. In the statement, North Korea said the South's government has pushed relations to the brink of war, and said the situation on the Korean peninsula has reached a point where there is neither way to improve relations or hope to bring them back on track. As a result, repeat, North Korea is now scrapping all military and political agreements it has signed with South Korea, and in an extra chilling statement said that the South's government, the government of South Korean President Lee Myung-bak, has pushed relations on the peninsula to the brink of war. Kim Jong-il is, of course, the dictator of North Korea. Last autumn, he fell ill. It's believed he was probably incapacitated by a stroke. In fact, the People's Liberation Army, 100,000 troops were sent to the North Korean-Chinese border by order of Beijing, because they felt that if Kim died, this could lead to a major crisis and social breakdown in North Korea, and Beijing was worried about millions of North Korean refugees pouring over into the border in China. So China already has 100,000 troops stationed on the Chinese-North Korean border, and now as of tonight, North Korea has scrapped all military and political agreements with South Korea, and the statement is implying that war may break out again. Of course, technically, North and South Korea have still been in a state of war since 1950, because all they signed in 1953 was an armistice agreement. They never signed a formal peace treaty, and now as of tonight it looks like that armistice agreement is also been shredded. Well, Joe Biden, while he was campaigning last fall, said that within his first 100 days, President Barack Obama would probably be faced with a major international crisis as he took office. And now with this announcement tonight from Pyongyang, North Korea, that major international crisis that Joe Biden foresaw may have just landed on Barack Obama's White House doorstep.